Salem, Oregon is the state's capital and is located right in the heart of the Willamette Valley. It's a fun city to explore with history, wineries, hiking trails, and restaurants. Salem sits right on the Willamette River, which is a beautiful landmark right near the heart of the city. I spent the better part of a week exploring Salem and I really enjoyed all it had to offer. Here's some of my favorite spots in the city and let me know what I left off in the comments. First up is the Oregon State Capitol. Built in 1938, after previous versions of the Capitol burned down, the State Capitol in Salem is one of the most unique state capitals you can see. The central building has a large golden statue on top which is known as the Oregon Pioneer and is supposed to symbolize all of those who made the journey to Oregon in search of a new life. During certain times of the year, you can actually visit the base of the statue on a tour. If you go during normal business hours, you can walk into the state capitol and explore this historic structure. The central rotunda is especially stunning and there are lots of murals on each of the walls. The gardens directly in front of the Capitol building are beautiful to see in the spring when the cherry blossoms bloom. I haven't seen it myself, but I would love to visit during this time. My next recommendation is the Riverfront Park. The Riverfront Park is an excellent place for a walk while in Salem. The 23-acre park sits on the Willamette River and it has a children's playground, a well-known art piece called the Eco-Earth Globe, the Willamette Queen Historic Boat, and the Peter County Minto Island Bridge. The bridge is especially picturesque with large swooping arches that come out from both sides. It's just a pedestrian and bicycle bridge, so it's fun to walk along as you cross over the river. Be sure you don't leave the Riverfront Park without checking out our next recommendation, Salem's Riverfront Carousel. Salem's Carousel is a great stop for the whole family while in the city. This carousel was created by many volunteers that hand-carved the individual animals over the course of 6 years. The carousel has been running since 2001 with the goal of providing the community with a fun place to connect. When you're there, you can ride the carousel and learn about the process of creating the animals. My kids loved this stop in Salem and we rode it multiple times. My next recommendation is the Willamette Heritage Center. The Willamette Heritage Center is a great piece of preserved history in the heart of Salem. The center spotlights many of the buildings from the Thomas K. Woolen Mill that would go on to become Pendleton Woolen Mills. When you visit the center, you can tour the property to see the creek that runs through it and to go to the mill building, which has many different machines that were used when it was running. I haven't seen anything like this before, so I really enjoyed diving into the history of the area and learning more about industrial wool processing. Check it out if you're interested in the area's history. Next up, I recommend visiting downtown Salem and exploring the historic buildings, especially the Reed Opera House. Many of the buildings in this part of the city were built in the 1800s and are still on display and doing well today. The Reed Opera House has been a center for the arts since it was created and now is home to many different shops and restaurants. My favorite is the Little Cannoli Bakery, but Capri Coffee is also pretty great. I love exploring historic downtown areas in older cities when I visit, and Salem was especially great for this. Just park your car and walk up and down a few of the streets. My next recommendation is the Gilbert House Museum. If you're traveling with kids, then head over to the Gilbert House Museum. This museum is amazing for children and our 1.5-year-old twins loved exploring the different houses. A few of the houses are historic and from the 1800s, and they have many different hands-on exhibits in each of the rooms. Some of these include green screens, farm exhibits, and even an area for making blanket forts. The exterior also has all sorts of playground equipment including slides, an archaeologist's dig site, and many buildings to climb and explore. If you have children, this is a spot you won't want to miss and you should plan at least a half day here. Next up, we have the Oregon State Hospital. The Oregon State Hospital is one of the oldest continuously running hospitals in the United States. The hospital was constructed in 1883 and it was the filming location for the famous movie One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. The hospital now has a museum of mental health located in the old building, but it wasn't open when I visited. I did enjoy seeing this historic structure from afar though and walking the beautiful grounds that surround it. My next recommendation is visiting a few of the area's wineries. The Willamette Valley is known for its Pinot Noirs, so you'll want to visit some wineries while you're in the area. Salem is actually home to the oldest winery in Oregon, Honeywood Winery. This place is an urban winery in the heart of the city that makes all sorts of fruit wines and even some meads. If you're looking for a more traditional winery experience, then head out to Red Hawk, which is 10 minutes outside of the city. This winery has amazing views out over the landscape and a great wine tasting experience. These are just a few of the wineries around the Salem area to explore, but there are a bunch more as well. My next recommendation is the Deepwood Museum and Gardens. Deepwood Museum and Gardens is home to the historic Deepwood Estate, a home that was built in 1894. The house and the property have been meticulously kept up and are beautiful to explore. You can tour the home at set times during the week, or you can just show up and walk around the grounds. There's even a short trail here that allows you to walk under large shade trees and get lost in nature right near downtown Salem. The property has 5 acres to explore, including a greenhouse, carriage house, and nature trails. Check it out if you get a nice sunny day while in Salem. Next up, we have the Trail of 10 Falls. Before jumping into the food recommendations, I wanted to share one of the best hikes in Oregon, which is about 40 minutes east of Salem. The Trail of 10 Falls is located in Silver Falls State Park, and it goes to 10 waterfalls on a 9-mile trail. Many of these waterfalls would be worth a 9-mile hike on their own, but to be able to see all of them on a trail like this is really special. It's a long day doing the hike, so get there early to get a spot and to have time to complete it without rushing past any of the waterfalls. You can see a full video I made on this trail in the description. To end this video, I just wanted to share some of my favorite food and drink related spots in the city of Salem. First up, we have Archive Coffee Bar. Archive Coffee Bar is probably my favorite food spot in Salem. I visit multiple times whenever I'm in the city. This coffee shop has some of the most unique lattes I've ever seen, with everything from tea reductions to homemade syrups in them. The decor here is awesome for a coffee shop, making it a fun place to meet friends or to work. Plus, at night it becomes a bar with all sorts of quirky and fun cocktails. Don't skip it on a visit to Salem. Next up, we have Word of Mouth Bistro. If you're looking for a fantastic breakfast spot in the city, then look no further than Word of Mouth Bistro. This place is always busy, so be prepared to wait, but the food is worth it with fun options like creme brulee French toast and a bacon bruschetta omelet. They also have many interesting drinks to go along with the food, and it's a great spot to meet for brunch in Salem. Next up, we have the breweries. While the Willamette Valley is known for wine, the breweries here are also pretty great as well. Salem has quite a few, and you can make a weekend out of trying many of them. My 2 favorites are Gilgamesh Brewing and Santiam. Both have a wide assortment of different types of beer, and they both serve food as well. Let me know what your favorite brewery in Salem is in the comments. My next recommendation is the Willamette Pie Company. The Willamette Pie Company has been a staple in the Salem area for over 20 years. They are one of the Northwest's largest producers of berry products, and they make dozens of different pies with their fruit. The pies change often, so go in and pick up whatever sounds the best to you. It's a fun property to drive out to, with a kids' play area in the front and lots of things to purchase inside. It's worth the drive just to eat the pie though, it's that good. I saved the best for last, and the last 2 recommendations are both donuts. First up, we have Easy Orchards and Farm Market. Easy Orchards is another farm recommendation outside of the city. This place sells all sorts of local produce in their home-style market. It's fun just to drive out and see what they have for sale, but of course for me, the highlight here is the homemade apple cider donuts. These things are full of flavor and are often being made right in front of you when you're at the market. They really are delicious, and I recommend getting a 6-pack as you'll be surprised how fast they go. My last recommendation is Bigwig Donuts. Bigwig Donuts is located right across the street from Archive Coffee Bar, and they specialize in donut holes. They have been here since 2014, and they serve up 6 different flavors of donut holes, with the flavors changing seasonally. When I went last, they had matcha chocolate, lemon poppy seed, maple, and cinnamon and sugar. I wasn't disappointed with a single one, and it's worth a stop, or maybe a few stops while you're in Salem. So there you have it, some of my favorite places in Salem, Oregon. Let me know what I left off in the comments, and we will see you on the next video.